Hey, good morning, you guys. I just want to let you know it's cold this morning. It's like 40 something degrees outside today in the morning. And so I turned up the heater and I thought that was very unusual that it was this cold. So, anyway, I want to let you guys know something that because I feel like we need to talk about these things. Okay, if you've ever walked out of a place without paying for something by accident, I walked out of Walmart with a purse that I thought I had purchased along with other stuff. I mean, I bought a candle and I bought some other stuff, food food stuff. And make a long story short, I came home and I didn't look at the receipt right away. I looked at the receipt a few days later, maybe the next day, maybe 2 days after that. Make a long story short, I found out that the purse that I thought I had purchased was given to me. And it wasn't that she didn't see She actually was going to put it in a bag. And usually by the time they bag something, they've already scanned it. By the time they bag it, they've already scanned it. But I told her, please don't bag it because I didn't want to crush my purse. It has like a boat shape, so I wanted to retain the shape. And I told her, please don't bag it. I'll wear it and I'll just, prove my receipt. But I don't know. And I even showed her. I mean, she was actually putting the purse in a bag by the time. And I had asked her for scissors, which she did not have, but I had asked her for scissors so I could cut the excess string off the purse to make sure that it wasn't gonna run. I wanted to make sure it wasn't gonna run. But make a long story short, she didn't charge me for it. So I had to go back when I found out for her, not the same lady, but the customer service. And I wonder if the lady at customer service thought that I walked out with the purse. I'm sure she didn't because she would know that, if this lady had walked out without paying for that purse, she she would not have come back to me to for me to charge her. So anyway, just check your receipt because they actually do check your receipt when you're walking out the door. And I am sure that 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 I showed my receipt as I was walking out the door because they especially when you have something that has a tag on it, and I hung the purse around me and I had a tag. And even if I hadn't had the tag, I'm walking out with merchandise that I supposedly didn't pay for, but it was not my intention. The lady was actually going to put it in the bag and I told her, no, I'll wear it. And she scanned all my items. So I am very OCD about this kind of stuff. So I went back and paid for it. But anyway, I recommend that y'all check your receipt before you leave, if unless you have a bunch of groceries. It's impossible. But even when I've done like the do it yourself at the do it yourself checkout, I've had one time I walked out with somebody else's groceries that they had left, or somebody else's item that they had left behind. So was checking out my own groceries, and when I got to the car I realized that I grabbed something that was not mine that was left behind. So I've gone back and returned it. But folks, it's not good to take stuff that's not yours. It's not. And so I went back and, like I said, I explained to the lady because I'm the returned queen anyway. I'll return things. Like I bought a bra the other day. I actually wore the bra. I tried it on before I purchased it. Like I actually put it on, tried it on before I not before I purchased it, because you're not able to try on things before you purchase anymore. So you have to purchase them and you have to bring them home, because I like to try things on before I purchase them. But this case, you can't right now. You have to purchase it and you bring it home. So I put it on and it fit perfectly. But then I washed it and something happened and it started digging into my skin, and it wasn't doing that before. But then again, I didn't wear it long enough before I washed it to realize whether it was doing that from the very beginning or not. But make a long story short, the bra is supposed to be wireless. It's not supposed to be digging in your skin. So it left a red mark, and only on one side, not the other. So I just returned it. And and I've had things that I've purchased and they shrink after I wash them. I have things that I'm not able to return them because it's been so long. I waited too long to wash it. And, I just cannot remember where the receipt is. And sometimes I'll return it, even though I can't remember where the receipt is, if I have a recollection of where I purchased it. But my pants shrank significantly, and I'm not able to wear them the way I thought I would be able to wear them. Or I've had shirts do the same. So, sometimes you don't know if you got it from TJ Maxx or Marshalls. Sometimes you don't know whether you got something from Walmart or Marshalls, because if it's a bra, a Warner brand, you don't know if you got it, where you got it from. So it's hard, but anyway, I was able to go back and pay for my purse, because I don't want to walk around without something with something I didn't pay for. But, you shouldn't have to buy your children back. Your children are yours to have, because I didn't put my children up for adoption. Understand, people. Wake up. I don't care how confused you were or what you thought was going on. I never put up my children up for adoption. I was asking for help and asking for help and asking for help when I was over there in Mobile. So, anyway, I had to say that. Because sometimes when there's real news, you don't know if it's fake news or what. If it's some kind of a joke. Because nowadays you can't believe everything you hear, right? Because everybody's acting and putting on a show. Because we all know that all is monitored and recorded. But is it monitored and recorded for our safety? Or is it monitored and recorded to mix and match and make the guilty look not guilty and the non-guilty look guilty? This is what we need to be concerned about. Because have you ever seen the cases when young people go missing? And in the news they'll say, oh, this is the last recording we have and we don't know beyond that. It's like, well, the person who got a hold of the camera is the one who murdered the person. Hello? And nobody knows where they are. Nobody has footage of it. Last night I was watching a movie that I didn't sit there to watch this movie. It's funny how my sweetheart, every time I say, let's watch a movie, he says, no, I don't want to watch a movie. He wants to watch soccer, and that's it. That's all he wants to watch when he comes home from work. That's all his mind can allow him to watch. I guess he has to just do nothing so he can de-stress. His job must be very stressful. So he'll sit there literally for hours for the rest of the day and just watch soccer. Or shows about how planes malfunction and they're doing the investigation. But I actually, was able to sit down and watch something that he was watching. And it's supposed to be a show that went on for 30 years and now they're recreating it. I don't know. So this serial killer is going after hippies, right? And he's targeting hippie people because it's easier, I guess, to get away with those kind of people, because those kind of people usually are loners and kind of like, they go their own way. Their families have a hard time keeping track of where they are, that kind of stuff. So this serial killer targets hippies because he's a stone. He's in the stone business. He sells stones. And so this particular young lady was drugged up, and then he put her in the ocean while she was still conscientious but was not able to move. This is why I believe, and this needs to be taken with, because we're already posting everything anyway. People are posting things like, look at my house, look at my pots I just got, look at my furniture, look at my husband, look how handsome he is. Don't do that. Okay? Wake up. When I was living in Mobile, Alabama with Andrew, which I will not say his last name, okay? But when I was living in his house, I was not putting on a pony show, people. I was not. I don't like it. I am not putting on a pony show here. If somebody looks at me from the wrong angle, from another angle, that's their problem, not mine. So, when I was living in Mobile, Alabama, none of the places where I lived ever was I putting on a show. And if I come on here, it's because I want to talk to y'all about something very important that's happening. Okay? What happens is, when you are putting on everything, like, look at what I bought, and look what I have, and look at my husband, look at my kids, you're letting demons in as well that watch y'all's videos. So you've got to be careful. There are people who want what you have. They want your life. They want your children. They want what is yours. They may not want your particular child, or may want your particular child, but they may want your lifestyle. They may want to be a mom. They may want to be whatever it is that you're doing. Oh, I can do better than her. I can do that better than her. Whatever it is, because I was not putting on a pony show. People, you have to understand. I started making these videos after Alexander was taken from me by DHR, not before, because before I didn't have time for that. We've got to be careful. And I thought to myself, if women, when they go out dancing or go out for a jog, even if it's during the daytime, it would be a good idea to have some kind of a camera somewhere on them that's not obvious camera. Eventually, people are just going to do that anyway. But, the problem with these body cameras that are obvious, like the phones, is that everybody knows you have it. And then the problem that comes with body cameras is violation of privacy. There are people who are constantly blogging or vlogging or whatever because they feel that life is a stage. The whole life, the entirety of it. Life is a test. And this play we're in has already been written. The Bible is real. All the books that have been written. So this is why we've got to be careful with what we write for them. Because we are our children's disciples. When God says, I make everything new, He means it. So let us write good things together for them who will inherit. Talking about inheritance, I was listening last night to Paulina. She's a beautiful model. She is, in my humble opinion, the most humble, the most beautiful, the most angelic model in that industry, because there's different types of model. But in that industry, I mean, she was, in my opinion, the most beautiful Estee Lauder model. And she was coming out speaking about not only the death of her husband, but how he disinherited her. And people interviewing her were legitimately wanting to know how this could possibly be, but among them was a woman who was interviewing her and another former actress or actress. I'm sure she's still acting. I mean, once an actress, always an actress, because you learn your skills, and that's what you can do with yourself. Not that you want to, you can choose not to, but you know, once you learn the skills of acting, you can always do that. Something to fall back on if you so desired. People should not be discriminated because of the way they look. There's always a role for you, you know? But the woman interviewing these two beautiful ladies was in her 50s or 50 at least, and she made it abundantly clear a few times throughout the interview was that I don't know what aging is like. You know, my mother, she's in her up there in age and she looks like she's 40. To me, it's very spooky. If you listen to people, that in itself is spooky. That a woman, a news reporter who is reporting on legitimate news, give the people the opportunity to speak what they want to speak. Otherwise, don't have them on. Otherwise, have a monologue like Susan Valerino has for monologues. Okay? Because if I don't have my monologues, nobody's going to be able to hear my point of view. Because the way that I'm treated by certain people, they don't want me to speak my point of view. They don't even, because they have another agenda. Their agenda is for me to be ridiculed, for me to be the bad guy, for me to be quiet, for me to not have a voice. So you lose your place in those kind of situations because they want you to. They want to belittle. They want you to feel like you are nobody. So it's all psychology crap, okay? Psychology for you. So you just be yourself, okay? And one day my hair is red and one day my hair is brown. I have no control over the matter, okay? One day I'm tan and one day I'm fair complected. I have no control over the matter.
One day my melasma is barely visible under makeup. One day is very visible under makeup. One day my melasma looks pink and one day my melasma looks brown. I have no control over the matter. I am not constantly coloring my hair. I color my hair once in a blue moon, literally, okay? Like once in a while, with a natural hair color, natural, from the health food store. And one day my hair is red and one day my hair is brown. Just like that. One day my hair is really, really curly and one day is smooth. I am not a demon. I am not the devil. No. I am my Father's daughter just the way He made me. One day my nostrils look really, really big and one day they don't. One day I look really young and one day I look really up there. I have nothing to do with the matter. I cannot control that. Or can I? It doesn't matter how I do my makeup. It doesn't matter how I do my hair. It doesn't matter what I do. It just is what it is. I'm not doing any trickery here on you. Okay? So I thought that it was not fair of that particular news reporter, because there were several people who interviewed Paulina about this particular life-altering situation, which is like not right. First of all, she should have an attorney immediately. She should have had the right attorney to get her money back, because obviously her husband was not right in the head when he did that. It's ridiculous. So an attorney should have been able to prove. I mean, if you can take kids away from moms based on allegations that they're potentially suicidal, you can very well represent women who have been left out of their own money, you know? If you can take kids away from moms because, oh, they're not mentally stable, you can very well, while somebody's alive, you can actually say that they're not mentally unstable. You can certainly get that woman her money back. Had it not been for her face, Estee Lauder wouldn't have sold, the cosmetics and the perfumes that Estee Lauder sold during that time, which was very crucial for the brand, because they were trying to modernize, bring something fresh and youthful and beautiful. Beautiful bride. Paulina was that. She was a beautiful young bride, literally. And she was also modeling for Estee Lauder in a bride dress for the beautiful perfume. She was literally the beautiful bride. And this is how our society is going to treat her? Oh, no. No! And then this news reporter, she felt so self-righteous, like, I don't know what aging is. So, she said that at least twice to these two women who were trying to make a point that we shouldn't be so obsessed with youth. I woke up with my makeup on because I sleep with my makeup on, just in case. I do, okay? But I don't have the money. And even if I did have the money, I wouldn't be spending it on doing plastic surgery. I'm going to tell you why. Because if it's minor cosmetic surgery, or unless it's medically necessary. If it's medically necessary, yes. If it's something that you need to correct, okay. If it's something that you want to fix to the way it was, I understand. But what's happening with cosmetic surgery for maintaining your youth or whatever, let me tell you, that looks really ugly when you are up there in age. Because women who didn't do it, just little, like very subtle, what has happened is they start to look like an alien. Okay? And I do believe that Paulina and other people like her who have aged naturally, and I mean, there's some things that certainly you can correct. But she didn't have any plastic surgery before she became a model. She had those God-given features that God gave her. And she wasn't snooty and stuck up about it. She was literally the most beautiful face Estee Lauder has ever had. And she made a lot of money. She was a devoted wife and mother of her 2 sons. Why should we even be having these discussions about her inheritance? She should have never. And then people will think that cannot possibly be true because we don't know what to believe. Because nowadays the real looks not real. And what looks not real is real. This is why I believe, because it looks not real. It doesn't look like it's real. Like there's no possible way that this could have happened. There's no possible way that this woman would have been left out of her inheritance after having been married for 35 years to this man who helped him in his career because she was there with him for one. You don't think that that helped his career? Of course it did. Oh, a rock and roll star who is much, 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 much older than this beautiful hot babe. You know, she's like one of the most popular models in the world. And here she is, my beautiful bride from Estee Lauder that I'm married to. Yep, and I am up there in age. And yep, she is a little young thing. She could have been married to anybody else. But she chose me. You don't think that that helped him with his career? Please. And on top of that, she was in his video. That was a very popular video. In fact, I remember the cars because of that particular video. And another video that another model was in. Because he chose models, beautiful models. Otherwise, it would have been hard to sell the music. Back then, the videos were everything to the song. Everything to the song, because MTV was all the rage. Everything was new and experimental, and had he not had those hot babes in those videos, it would have been hard to sell. I'm not saying that the music wasn't good. I'm not saying that the music was with talented musicians and producers. No, I'm not saying that. Yes, they were talented. Yes, they were good. Yes, it was nice to listen to. But the models that were chosen for those videos made a significant difference and helped to sell the music. So Paulina, being one of the models, and that's how she met her husband. She was just a little thing. She devoted her whole youth to her husband for her to leave her out of the inheritance because they were going through a divorce. Because he was ignoring her? Where are the righteous lawyers, I want to know? And then everybody's interviewing her. Why can you introduce her to a good lawyer? This should not even be, folks. And because it looks surreal, I believe it. I don't want to watch an interview by some stuck-up woman going, well, I don't know what aging is. So, that's y'all's problem, not mine. You know, it's like, please. Okay? Those are not the kind of interviews I want to watch. And then she was interviewed by some other sensible people. And I was able to listen to the entirety of her point of view. Because when you watch something like that, you don't believe it. It was her, and then Justine, there's another actress. I'm trying to think of her. Bateman, Justine Bateman. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. I mean, these women are not desperate to hold on to their youth and then end up with deformed faces. You know, this ugly people, it's ugly to have these lips that are not yours and these implants that are not yours. And then Botox everywhere, so you look like, you know, like a mask. It's not good for you to spend your money that way when there are people who have actually, I'm not to say that people who have been injured or who have been, you know, injured, and I want to apologize in advance. This does not apply to you, okay? It does not apply to you. I am talking about people who purposely spend their money, and I know that is their money. They can do whatever they want with it, right? But people, you have to think, you have fans. Had it not been for these fans, you wouldn't have the cash flow coming in. Do you think your fans want to see you deforming yourself through the years purposely with these cosmetic surgeries when there are people out there who could be housed for a whole year in a humble abode with what you're spending on one surgery? I mean, don't put them on, take them off. 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 You know? Tuck this in, tuck that in, tuck this in, tuck this in, and you're walking around like, that is ugly! There are people out there hungry. There are people out there without a home. Why don't you look around and ask yourself, what on earth am I doing on earth with my time on earth? Folks, get y'all's feet on the ground, which is your land of your inheritance. If we cannot take care of our own planet first, how do you expect that God is going to allow y'all to go to another planet if and when we get there to pollute it and neglect it and exploit it the same? Because we will. Because if our hearts are not transformed here on earth, it ain't gonna happen. And besides, how do you expect to go back home while you're out there looking for other real estate? How do you expect to come back home to rest for a while you're out there searching for other real estate? Because you're adventurous people. But you're also destructive people. And if you ain't got a home to come back to because it's gone kapoo or it's just neglected beyond comprehension, how do you expect to come back home to take a break from your adventures out there if and when you find another? It was never my idea to have a pony show. But if I must have a pony show, it's gonna be my way. My way. And I will speak. I ain't afraid of none of you drugging me and putting me out there in the ocean. Because when it's my time to go, it's my time to go. And I don't have a lot of time to be fiddle farting around. So I will say what I will say with the time that I've been given here on earth. Because I do question myself. What on earth is my mission while I'm here on earth? Let us meet. MEET. We are the aliens we're searching for. Yes, we are. Just look around. We are all aliens. Yes. We are all immigrating to and from, frantic, because our nations lack God. Our nations lack faith in God. Yes. And because you lack faith in God, you've got people going to and from. Just like little ants. Communism in my country. And guerrillas. Y'all do it to yourself. You've got to stand up like a man and speak to your government with God. With God, because we have weapons that are not of this world. And I don't mean bombs and guns, because a true man does not need bombs and guns to get the job done right. Because obviously these bombs and guns ain't working out. They kill and that's it. Then you've got to bring on new, fresh meat for the killing, right? It ain't never gonna be done that way, obviously, because if war was the solution, we wouldn't have any more war, because we would have solved it already a long time ago. So obviously it is not the solution. So I'm not afraid to say, come on. But I don't like to fight. I don't. But we've got to teach kids self-defense. We've got to teach them self-defense, how to defend themselves. Yes! My child was climbing the wall. Yes, he was. He was climbing the wall and then he was able to turn around like this in midair. I miss my pochichis. I miss us going to the park. I don't want to be looking in the mirror every minute, because believe in me, we are aging by the minute. Earth is moving by the second, okay? And as Earth moves by the second, we are aging. So the more you look in the mirror, the more flaws you're going to see. And then we're going on with makeup, right? Because we want to be beautiful. And we put on our makeup. This is true. And then we go out there all sexy mama. And we're going out there like, I am it, you know? And then you're like, I'm going to post on my Instagram a photo of my makeup 5 hours later. And it's like, oh, you guys, I don't like this makeup. Look what it does. Look, I'm going to zoom into my wrinkles. Look what it does. It makes me look ugly. This no good, no good. I don't recommend this makeup. Do you think it's fair to the makeup company for you to be doing that? What I return at Walmart is legitimate, because it's like, or Marshalls or TJ Maxx or Hobby Lobby, or, I mean, I am the return queen. But I'm not going to be advertising it for y'all like, I am returning this because this sucks. I am returning this because it's no good. I am returning this because, no. I'm not even posting a negative review about it. If I have a review to post, it is a constructive review and it's positive. I'm not going to give a poor review in public. I only did that once, and it was because a psychologist. Okay, because when Alexander was being picked on in first grade, I was told, okay, well, you may want to just take him to a psychologist just to rule out ADD and ADHD because the teacher says that he's too fidgety. And I was like, look, my son's advanced for his age. He should really be in second grade. He has an advanced reading level. And I was like, test him. They tested him. He scored higher. And I said, okay, then can we waive this and put him in a second grade? And they were like, well, before we do that, I want to do other things. I would like to try to see if you would take Alexander to a psychologist just to rule out ADD and ADHD. I took him to the psychologist, and the first question she asked me before she even saw Alexander, back between her and Alexander's privacy, she asked me, do you want to put him on medication? And I said, no, absolutely not. Alexander does not need medication. This first grade teacher was not even taking him out to recess because she didn't have time. Because these teachers are overwhelmed, underpaid, overworked. She didn't have time. I did not know that it was not mandatory to take kids out for recess. I thought it was mandatory. Oh no, not here in the South. Not where I was at in Mobile. It was not mandatory. And I was like, what? Are you serious? Like growing up, we never did not have recess. The only time I didn't have recess was one time when I was in timeout. I was the new girl in school. And I was getting picked on. They were calling me little cry catty baby. Let me tell you what happened. The walls were freshly painted a minty green. I will never forget. The shade of green it was. Had come from Enrico Fermi Private Institute, okay, to a public institute. And I didn't have any friends because I was new. Nobody liked me. They thought I was snooty, even though I wasn't. I was not snooty. I was a new girl, you know? And I was getting picked on. And I was just like, okay, whatever. I was by myself, so I'm used to be by myself because if I'm not going to be with good company, I'd rather just be alone, okay? I don't have a problem with that at all, okay? I can entertain myself. So, I was new at this public school, and that picking on me lasted it was very short-lived, okay? So, I've been picked on before. Various times, even by my own family members. I'm used to being picked on. You know what? It's okay. Because people who pick on other people, it's a shame on them. Okay? Not on me. I'm not the one that has to worry about it when I face God, which I already did. You're the one. But you were with me. And by the mercy, okay, through Gamma Dalet. So, I was getting picked on because I was the new girl. They didn't like me. I came from a private school and I had already done everything the previous year. We were a whole year behind, for one, and for two, they weren't teaching any foreign languages. I came from learning Italian and English along with Spanish to learning no foreign languages and being a whole year behind. It was painful. So I would sit and look out the window. That's when my looking out the window started. I would look out the window and I would just start doodling, you know? And that's when my looking out the window pattern began. And it was good because it was looking up to the beautiful fluffy clouds, blue sky, you know, an escape from this reality, you know, these kids a whole year behind, not learning foreign languages? Oh no. Oh no. It was horrible. So, this particular school was called República de Ecuador. Back in the days, the public schools had Republic of whatever country in Latin America. So this particular school was the one nearby. Nothing against Ecuador at all. Okay? But it just so happened to be the name of the school. So the teacher said, I'm going to paint the walls. I'm going to have a painter paint the walls of this classroom. Or the school was paying for it, obviously. And I don't want anyone writing on the walls. I didn't write on the walls. It wasn't my habit to write on the walls, ever. Or chew gum and put it underneath the desk. No. I didn't have those kind of habits. So, somebody took my name, and wrote on the wall. But first of all, it wasn't my handwriting. Secondly, they misspelled my name. They put Susan without two S's, and back in the days it was spelled with two S's. And he wrote down my name and misspelled it, and it was in my handwriting. But the teacher knew that it was in my handwriting. The teacher knew, but she still, and it wasn't even on my end of the classroom because I was like in the very middle of the classroom, sitting like in front of the teacher, in the middle of the classroom. And this happened on the left-hand side, to my left, to the teacher's right. And I knew exactly who did it because he was the one picking on me along with his two little friends, female friends. And he did not like me, probably because he had a little crush on me or whatever, But he was picking on me, and I know he did it. But I was not able to prove it. I'm just in the second grade, right? How could I prove it? And then I had these two little girls ganging up on me, going, oh, you little crybaby. On top of being blamed for something I didn't do. Obviously, it was the wrong handwriting with the wrong spelling, for one. For two, I was kept from going to recess and getting my proper exercise for the day. And then third, my parents were going to be told, or my mother was going to be told about something that I didn't do. And then I was getting picked on by these two little girls. I still remember it like it was yesterday. As if it was yesterday. So I don't want y'all psychologists to say, oh, she's a potential serial killer because she was getting picked on. It's like, no, I wasn't picked on continuously. This being picked on was very short-lived because these little girls had the nerve to get really close to me, and they would go, oh, you just little crybaby, you little crybaby. So that was that. I pulled on her braids so hard that it hurt, and she cried. And I said, okay, that's what you get. You were invading my space. You got into my private space. You invaded my space, and you're making fun of me. And I may not even have explained it. I just pulled on her braids. You know what? That little girl and her best friend became my best friends. Because they wanted me to stand up for myself. But you know what? Why are we continuing to do this to adults among us? It's like, oh, we're just going to pick on her and fool with her mind until she stands up for herself. Why? Are you children? Are you kids? Are you that bored that you need something to do? I am not your entertainment. I'm not getting paid for that. I had Andrew call me the other day, and he told me, I really appreciate you being there when I was sick in the hospital. I really appreciate that. And he said, I know you're with somebody. I'm not going to ask you, but are you recording this phone call? I said, no, I'm not. And we spoke for a moment, and then he asked me to pray for him, which I did. And I called him back, and he said, why are you trying to call me? So I'd rather be alone than with bad company. But when I lived with Andy, he was watching video games. And it wasn't the fact that it was video games. It was the nature of the video games. It was a devil. The devil. Okay? A vampire. And the whole scene, from one to the other, to the other, to the other, the entirety of the video game is of Satan. Death, blood, killing, evil things, the entirety of it. The whole time we lived there, he wanted to work from home, and he was getting paid to work from home to torture with his ghost shows that has a machine that goes, because these people are looking for ghosts. I can understand watching that once in a while, but not the entirety of the day. While I was cleaning house, decorating my house, tending to my son, cooking, cleaning, it was me. Me. I wasn't going, people, look at my house, look at my pots, look at my furniture. Oh, I'm going to Hobby Lobby today. Come with me to Hobby Lobby. Let us go shopping together. No. And then I was being told, get a job. While he sat there and watched TV for a living. Get a job, and then the only job that I was being offered was nights and weekends for housekeeping when I applied for this company for the food and beverage. Because I told them, I'm already a housekeeper in my house, although I'm not getting paid for one. Okay? I don't like violence, but the demons came in my home. Okay? So if you're not a demon, don't be offended by it. This does not include you. But I didn't invite everybody and their brother, because we are brothers and sisters in Christ. In Christ. So if you're not with Christ, you're against Christ. And my son Alexander is not the Antichrist. Andrew told me he didn't believe in God. After we moved into this house. If you don't believe in God, what's the point? Right? Because everything that you do, it's not going to be with the mindset of, what am I doing here on earth? What on earth am I doing while I'm here on earth? With my time here on earth? No, folks. President Eisenhower himself said that he was going to leave a piece of land better than he found it. Okay? That's the kind of mentality I'm looking for. Not everybody is a leader, and not everybody is a general, but you are, the one in you is a leader. Yeshua! Yes! Who? What's our mission? Okay, I know some of you are going to say, okay, that lady, she ain't right. Okay? She's not stable. She's lost her mind. I don't care what you think about me, because that's what you're saying about me anyway. Right? That's why I'm antisocial. I'm not antisocial at all. I'm a very social person, but I don't play games. Okay? I mean, I like to play games with my son. I like to play hide and seek. But I always knew where my son was at all times. But I started working as soon as I came here. I was like applying for jobs. Nobody hired me. Nobody hired me. Nobody hired me. So as soon as I started working at this restaurant, COVID hit. And I was told, apply for unemployment. Apply for unemployment. I was like, well, I just started working here. I can't really count that. So I explained. I worked at P.F. Chang's this amount of time. This is how much money I made. I worked only over here for like part-time temporary on call. And then I just literally started working here. Well, you know, some people don't like President Trump. And when all this COVID was going on, I was asked, well, can you come back and help with delivering the food? And I said, I just applied for unemployment. I don't want to mess up my unemployment. And I was told, no, don't worry. A lot of people did that, so don't worry. We're not going to do that to you. We're going to do it off the record. Nobody's going to be clocking in because we just need to keep the business afloat. I said, okay, but I don't want to be blamed for double dipping because it's not fair to me. So I started working, but then I started seeing the news, you know, and people talking about Trump and how much they disliked him. And I have never disliked President Trump. I don't dislike President Biden. I don't dislike President Obama. I don't dislike any president. Y'all are at war with one another as neighbors. I mean, despise one another just based on who you voted for. And I didn't even vote for President Trump or President Biden or the last time President Obama was president. You know why? Because if I vote, then you'll have Jehovah Witness saying, she is not supposed to be voting. And it's like, folks, I ain't a Jehovah Witness. I am a witness. I have seen my Father's eyes and mouth scintillating before me. I am not a Jehovah Witness. Y'all are my witnesses. And we are the body of Christ, standing and speaking to our governments like the Son of Man, because I've explained to you how women can be also. You speak to your government with courage and strength. And I'm not a lesbian, no. So if some of you think I'm a lesbian because I man up, too bad for you, okay? And I ain't here to be showing my breasts to everybody and their brother when I'm taking a shower. But I do believe in body cam. I do believe for self-protection. When women go out there jogging, you better believe that you're thinking, okay, I'm exercising. This is good for me, for my health, for my heart, for my brain. I'm exercising. But just because you happen to be out there, you happen to be female, you happen to have breasts and curves and a ponytail, you know, somebody's going to think, oh, she wants to get laid. Oh, you better believe it, these dirty mother suckers. Oh, they do. Or if you're in your house doing yoga, in your house, or doing Taibo, and you're sweating and you're going like that, they're watching you and they think you want to get laid. Oh yeah, and you're doing this, and you're doing that. So why is it that when people go missing, they don't know where they are? Because these mother suckers do. Because they have the ability to delete and alter the date and the time. So this is why I believe that kids need to be taught self-defense. And little girls need to be treated the same. And little boys need to be treated as equal. Like, hey, Everybody, let's learn self-defense because it teaches them discipline and it teaches them, it gives them, it boosts their self-esteem. That way, when they get to be up there in age, they're not like, oh, I don't look like when I was 25 years old. What am I gonna do?
Ridiculous. Let us spend our money wisely and let us take a good look at people out there going hungry. We don't need to be spending, our money on frivolous things because we're only going to be in the flesh temporarily. But with God, eternally. Eternally with God. And I have promised to serve Him for the eternity. It was originally for the rest of my life when I was 19. But when the light pulled the truth out of me in 2018 when I lived with Mr. and Mrs. Miller, it was eternal covenant. So, I know my part. Okay, I don't care what you think about me. I am who I say I am, and I am part of the body of Christ just like you. So, man up and speak to your government and say, we're not going to be flying away from our land. We all need to restore our land together, the whole earth. And weapons of mass destruction ain't it. Okay? We already know that. Because if that had been the solution, we would have already solved it a long time ago. So, let us not spend our people's money on weapons of mass destruction. And let us comprehend that God is not going to let us go into another planet if and when to destroy it, because we've got to prove to God that we can take care of our own priorities that He's given us first. So, I have never put my son up for sale, you mother suckers. My son is my son. Both of them. One family. And I don't care what anybody thinks about me. My children love mama. Because I am a good mama. And I'm my Father's daughter. Just the way He made me. And I'm here to tell you that as the earth is turning, we're getting older. So don't be looking in the mirror every 5 minutes. Enjoy the one you're with. And believe in me, I'd rather be going to the park and playing hide and seek with Alexander, and going to see Jacob and his baby, his little Spencer, and giving them little kisses and hugs, instead of feeling like an outcast. Woo! Hallelujah! Yes, my papa! Thank God for coffee and thank God for good food. Yes, and I'm not cheating on my unemployment either. Okay, I don't want anybody coming back and saying that I was double dipping and that I'm stealing from the state of Alabama. No. Better recognize